were outsiders, that they were marginalised in society. They lived on the outskirts of society, they looked different, they behaved differently, and so it's very, very easy. In York, absolutely, I'll take you on another tour. It's a place called Dewberry, and there was about 500 to 1,000 bodies there. I'll show you that on another occasion. But here, as I say, we're getting a nice shot of the tower, and it's fantastic that the scaffolding has gone down in sufficient time for us to kind of bring you this. So that is the story. I'm now going to get in position because...
Welcome everyone to our commemoration of Clifford's Tower 2022. Thank you for braving the terrible weather. Congratulations to everyone who's been able to make it this evening. So many people who would like to have been here are unwell, unfortunately, including the Lord Mayor, sadly. But I know lots of people are also joining us watching at home. So, to begin, I'd like to ask the Lady Mayoress, Mrs. Joy Culwick, to make the opening statement on behalf of the Lord Mayor. Mrs. Culwick.
Yes, as you've heard earlier, Chris is not well, but he does really send his apologies, and he's so sorry not to be here with you tonight. So I have the privilege of speaking to you instead. And it is a great privilege. The annual commemoration of the massacre at Clifford's Tower forms an important part of York's programme for Holocaust Memorial Day. The theme for Holocaust Memorial Day in 2022 is One Day. This theme has already been explored in various ways through an online civic event. This evening, we focus our attention on One Day in History as we commemorate the events of the 14th of March, 1190, coming together to mark and to mourn the massacre of the Jews of York at this site. These events are notorious in Jewish history and are commemorated in lamentation or Kinar, recited on the fast day of Tisha B'Av. They have made the name of York resonate through the centuries as the site of the most notorious pogrom against Jews in English history. For a long time, the impulse in York was to look away from the events of 1190, to avoid it or ignore it as too distressing and too bad a reflection on our city. It's hard to find even a passing reference to it in guides to York Castle or Clifford's Tower for much of the last century. In more recent times, thanks to the residents and friends of the city and members of the Jewish communities here and elsewhere, much work has begun to uncover and tell the story and to mark it with acts of remembrance. In 1987, the commemorative plaque was laid as part of a service of reconciliation, marking a new start. In 1990, the 800th anniversary was formally commemorated by the city. In more recent times, as the city began to mark Holocaust Memorial Day, it seemed natural and appropriate to again acknowledge 1190 on this site as part of the Holocaust Memorial Programme. It is vital that we continue to commemorate this one day in history, because of course pogroms and genocides don't just happen. Rather, they are a culmination of discrimination, racism, and hatred that is unchecked over a period of time. Looking at the end point of this squarely in the eye is a good way to remind ourselves of the need to stay alert to the early signs and act quickly to correct them. The Holocaust Memorial Day theme of one day is also therefore concerned with one day in the future. We commemorate and learn from the events at Clifford's Tower for a purpose: to build a better future. When we look ahead to one day with no genocide, no hate crime against minority communities, we should ask ourselves what we need to do today to achieve this. We can use this theme to empower us to speak out when we see injustices, prejudices, and identity-based violence. Today, as every day, we face the challenge of how to respond to those at risk of marginalisation, those facing persecution, or those in need of refuge and safety. Hard to say those words without thinking of those fleeing from Ukraine at the moment. Let us learn from our past, from the history of this site, as well as from the more positive examples that our history can teach us. Then we can rise to that challenge and work to make our city a safe and equitable place for all our residents, and the one that offers a safe haven to those in need of it today.